Well, hey everyone. So glad you could join us. Welcome to another evening with the Shower Door Professionals. We're going to talk about stuff, shower door stuff, mostly. But who knows? Conversation could go anywhere, man. It's crazy. It's wacky. Hope you're having a good week so far. Gosh, we're already Thursday. So that's good. That means tomorrow's Friday.
Right.
Nice. Nice. I like that. And yeah, good times, good times. I've been thinking about um, all of the mistakes and failures that have led me to where I am today. And it's like really, um, I think those things are really underrated. I think like mistakes and failures really don't get enough credit.
Man, you had to bring that up today, didn't you?
I did. What's going on, Tim? Is this relate? Are you
Oh
relating to
yeah.
this today?
I had a failure today, and it was not good. So
Yeah, you want to talk about it, man? This
not
can be like a
really.
therapy session for you, man.
Yeah, right. The year was going good, and then, boom, it hit me today. But we'll survive.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, it's like you not only will you survive, but you'll probably become even more resilient,
You know,
than you are now. Just think
thought I
about.
checked all the numbers right, and I screwed it up. So, but
Yeah,
and it's the Mission Ranch. We've done all their shower doors, and out of all the ones that we did, these are I've only screwed two up. So
yeah,
reorder them. They'll be here Monday or Tuesday. Go finish the job.
yeah. I always figured into my jobs like an additional 10% for like breakage. That's what I
Yeah.
call it. 10% breakage. Because like glass breaks. It gets
Mhm.
scratched. Gets measured wrong. There's a whole lot of things it can do. And I think like 10% is a pretty reasonable amount to
Yeah.
account for that. And it's like and a lot of times you might have like a long run where you just really don't have it. You don't have that much.
Yeah.
And then you get on one where it's like it's like 20%, 30%, And I think it kind of balances out over time. I mean, hopefully it does, but it's like if you don't account for mistakes, then well, it's just kind of foolish not to, right? Um, but yeah, I think if you're going to be, um, if you want to be average, then you can like play it pretty safe, and not really stick your neck out, not really, um, you know, have that many failures or make very many mistakes, just because you're just playing it safe. But if you want to be, in the top percentile in the industry, or you want to be an innovator, you want to be, somebody who shakes things up, then you're going to have to take some risks, and failure is kind of built into that. If you're afraid of failure, you're not going to ever, be an innovator, because like you got to break some eggs, to make an omelet, as they say, and I think about and product development, is something that's probably my favorite thing to do, is like develop new products. And I love prototyping, I love designing, I love like making something and trying it, seeing if it works, finding out that it doesn't work, going back to the drawing board, redesigning it, prototyping it again, so it's like that whole process is really fun for me. And I've come up with, a lot of different products, and probably half of them have not really caught on, you know. But the great thing about like having modern technology of like being able to do 3D printing, and prototyping things really fast, is that I can come up with an idea, come up with a rough design, model it up, in Fusion, and then print it, try it, and be like, oh, this is almost right, but if this wall was a little thicker, if this leg was a little longer, or if I added a little springiness right here or whatever, that it might work. And then just go back, try it again, print it again, and have a prototype like in just like a matter of an hour or a day or whatever, and be able to reiterate that several times and within a day or two, and be like, okay, now this works, and then to be able to get it out into people's hands in the industry and say, okay, try this and let me know what you think, and then have guys work with it and say, oh yeah, this works, this helps. That's like, man, that's awesome. And then you just know the market tells you, it's like, okay, yeah, this is valuable or this isn't. And there's like probably the majority of the things I've come up with have never caught on. They were failures. And you got to be okay with that. You got to be able to say, oh yeah, I tried that, didn't work. And I've done a lot of that, and you know, I like it. I'm not wired like, I guess, the average person, but that appeals to me. Being able to do something and have it not work out right away, and be able to get on to the next thing real quick.
I'm a big fan of that. My friend kind of felt insulted, and his family did, whenever he was like starting something, and I was like, man, I hope you fail fast, because I saw in the way he was explaining it that he didn't have the right mindset yet, and I wasn't hoping that he failed. I just hope he failed fast, because I knew his goal was to be like, for example, motorbike extraordinaire. Great. You don't know how to ride a bike yet. Right. So what has to happen? You have to fall off a few times. You have to hurt yourself. You have to try tricks that fail. You have to break stuff. I hope you do all that very, very, very fast. And you don't take 5 years to figure out this idea doesn't pan out when it really gets to market. Because a lot of times we'll guess, or when applied to like the follow up system, following up with people, the things you do to follow up. Like, I love being able to test, be wrong, and go and tweak it without having to have such a huge financial overhaul on that tweak. Because I thought 10 days of reminders was a great idea for everyone when they first came in. And then the market told me that 20% were very pissed off at that kind of outreach. And so I adjusted
That's
the
right.
workflow. And I wouldn't have been able to cater to 20% more retention had I not broken that first, and then realized the sequence where it said day one, day two, day five, where it's like, choose us, we're the best. Check out our reviews, we're awesome. Hey, did you know we got awarded something else for being so cool? And we look at like the conversion data and like, man, this is gonna kill it. And you look at it, you're like, we're not really converting well. Let's test something else. Let's reverse it to where we're talking to the customer about them. Where are you at in your stage? What kind of stuff do you want? What do you need to know based on the stage you're at, based on the last 100 showers I did for people at your stage? Here's some educational content for you. Here's other resources for people you can call that might help you in your journey to avoid the nightmare of contractor life that you've probably gone through in this remodel. And when we shifted to that, like, conversion went up, retention, like, trying all that, failing at all these marketing campaigns. I hate the idea of them staying in idea land. We're in a place with technology, like you said, with 3D printing, where you don't have to go through $550,000 of investment to see if
Mhm.
that device works. You just go 3D print it real quick and try it out. And for a very low cost, you can test and go back to the shop and run it again.
Yeah.
It's like my whole life's built on the failures. I was The old glass company from Austin just sent me my write-ups from 2008, 2007, when I was an installer for them. And all the mistakes. It was funny to look at the mistakes I was making as an installer, because now I help glass shops make sure that their guys don't do what I was doing, and that you don't have to come up with a new policy to charge your drivers or charge your installers $50 for failing at a job because your process is sucked so much that it allowed them to fail. And
Mm.
me realizing both sides of that is like a great thing. That go fail, everyone. Go fail as fast as possible. Put those ideas out there. See if it works. And put it in a silo like some people do. Create that sub company to see if that idea works so it doesn't hurt your overall flow. And if it does, then include it in your business.
Yeah. Love that. Yeah. You're in an industry too that's very conducive to failing fast and failing cheaply, right? Like where and that's really similar to like the 3D technology. It's like you could put up a prototype for a few bucks, in a few hours of time, and see if it works in the real world, and then like in software you can do that same thing. It's like you can change something like really rapidly, and like yeah, you piss people off, makes people uncomfortable, lose a sale, or whatever. I mean, it costs something to do that. It's not like it's free. It costs you your time. It costs you your effort. Sometimes it costs you, like I say, a sale. But you
Have
can
you
do
guys
it quickly, and that there is something to that.
have you guys done any 3D printing with the metal filament and then use some of those parts at all in some of your projects?
Not so far. Not so far. I've seen some of that. It's I don't know how far it's come now since I looked at it, but when I was looking at metal 3D printing, it was sort of like like a welder. So it was like a welder was going around like what they call SDF, is it, where it's depositing it, and then once that part is done, it still needs to be finished. Like with a like help me out here. Well, like some kind of a grinder, it had to be fine tuned or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. It may have
like a
come away
CNC
from that.
type. Yeah, I just know we're doing a lot. We're still doing some, the metal surrounds, and we did a huge office entry with grids and trying to just make things work. Sometimes it would be easy instead of getting a grinder or
Hmm.
hacksaw out and custom some metal and almost cutting your fingers off. Having something to be able to print something would be nice too.
Yeah, or even like water jet or like plasma torch. Um, Man, you can automate a lot of stuff like that. And then also probably like the metal 3D printing has probably come away. There was a thing where they were impregnating like filament with metal, to like kind of reinforce it, or carbon fiber was another thing that pretty tough. So I've found some resins now that are like really strong. That's been a real challenge, like but making tools with a 3D printer, is that just making them strong enough and rugged enough and so that they last, and I'm just, that's getting better all the time. So I actually just changed my resin this like past week to something that's like way stronger than anything that we've had before. So that's, yeah, that's the tricky thing, is like making things out of plastic, that are, pretty unbreakable.
I got a question for everyone.
All right.
Doesn't apply to the guys that fabricate so much, so sorry, Eric. But um, for those that aren't fabricating, has anyone been using stock doors for their showers and then just ordering the fixed panels and having success with this? Because I did it like a year ago, and I just found the quality of the doors weren't good, or my guys weren't installing them because either they were warped or hinge cutouts were bad, or like the quality of the glass wasn't the same, noticeably different in the side panels. So I ended up with some of these doors that are still sitting around even today. And I'm just wondering if anyone's, found a workaround, or if they found better suppliers, or is anyone doing this to help bring their costs down? Because we were talking last week about mass ordering on the hardware. And I'm wondering if anyone's doing this on the stock doors at all and found a successful route.
We flirted with this because we fabricate all of our stuff custom as well, and we flirted with this a little bit, talking about it recently, to see if it's just having the space to store it for us is a little bit difficult. We have a decent sized fab shop and a decent sized office / storage area, but to have the stock doors in place, I feel like we would have more issues storing it, moving it around, than we would making it worth it to us. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but we're still flirting with the idea.
You haven't done it yet, though?
No, we haven't done it because the other thing is too, mainly getting our guys do not like the Mickey Mouse cutouts, so everything we cut is mail slot. And all the stock doors that we're been able to find, they all want to do Mickey Mouse. So,
What is it that you guys don't like about the mouse ears?
the pins they don't like. They want to be able to. They want to be able to move things around if necessary.
More than that allows, right?
Yeah.
Call them the key to sander.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing about mouse ears is that they allow you to block the hinge, where you can't block if you don't have those.
No, it locks.
But
it,
you
yeah.
shouldn't have to, And it's I think with the new people are starting to FHC is starting to integrate the gaskets, which makes a huge difference. Like Portals has done for years.
Yeah. We've actually been buying some of the nicer gaskets and just replacing the CRL or US Horizon or FHC gaskets that are the regular rubber, and replacing it with the nicer gaskets. And it's been working for us pretty good.
Like
Stopping
those clear ones or what?
No, just the black ones still. Yeah, the dark ones.
But just better quality. They're the more rigid, right?
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of that, so I thought I saw an ad or something for FHC saying that they're going to start supplying glass.
I think that was for handrails.
Is it for handrails?
I think so.
They do.
No,
They
they're
do
doing
stock.
Yeah,
They're
they
stock
do
too.
stock doors.
What's that now? Stock doors?
Yeah, they have stock doors too.
Stock shower doors?
Yeah.
Interesting. So
And
what?
get them, it's going to cost you an arm and leg.
Yep. How much? Okay, so how much is a? Okay, so with that said, what I mean to get a stock door, how much are you actually saving? I mean, as far as cost, I mean, you probably got to buy quite a bit of it, right, from China, right? So I mean, like us, we get a door within. I mean, are you guys doing that so you can save time and or I mean, I get a door in 2 days, and I mean a single door, like let's say 28 by 80 or something like that. It's only like $110, $120. I mean, not that bad. I mean, how much is a stock door that size?
You can get a stock door. Yeah, you've got to buy a full container load, because we still do it, even though we fabricate and temper, we still have stock doors. But I mean, you can get it for 45, $50. And just for us, it allows us not to have to fill the production time with stock doors. I mean, anything custom, which is a lot of them, we produce in-house, but we still order and have on stock doors.
But what if you have an outage, like a 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, whatever? I mean, is that where you go custom, or? I mean, because the chances of having a straight wall, I mean, it's like sometimes you'll get lucky. Sometimes, man, you just like, okay, well, like today, I had one that was 7/16 out. Like, okay, you can't make the stock door work in there. you have to get a custom one. So I was like, okay, what do you do?
You can actually buy the stock doors already outed too.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can buy them eighth inch, quarter inch out.
Feels like a hassle.
My worry is my guys are just gonna keep moving around, or we don't have the right place to put it, and they're just gonna scratch it up, and then we're gonna lose that money on a door that's been sitting for, months or something like that. But I mean, you figure you are saving on handling, you're saving on tempering, you're saving on. We don't have a tempering shop, so we have to send out to temper, but we're manufacturing the glass, cutting it, and drilling it and everything. So you're saving on that part of it. So I don't know. I might save $25, $30 on a stock door at that point, maybe.
Yeah.
For us, the value was speed to completion. Like you can reduce it. And specifically the city where we couldn't have a fabrication plant close enough, so our lead time was 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. The value of having stock doors in place that could potentially turn, we have to come back in 2 weeks to, we'll be right back. That little difference in what we had to go through, constant communication back and forth, upset people. It was worth for that location to deal with the hassle of stocking doors, scratching doors, figuring out a spot for them in a too small shop, making sure people didn't steal them or have all those other issues or break them and make it like completely irrelevant as an investment. Like there's all those potential, absolutely. But the hell we went through with how bad they were measuring and how long we had to wait for fixes to come in made us close the gap on that. Should we do it? So let's just try it conversation. Like I don't, that was kind of the pivot to have a very small stock for us because of the gap of our lead time and pissed off volume of customers at that little portion we were dealing with.
So we get doors in 3 days. And I don't believe in the 8 inches up, 8 inches down. I center the hinges on a tile to make it look nice. And so that's why I don't, do stock doors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There
you go. I don't really stock. I don't know. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Adrian. It's your turn.
Yeah, and I like Eric to cut everything out. I don't care if it's you guys might think it might be too much, but 16th, I cut my glass. If it's 16th out, I'm getting that glass cut out 16th. So, I mean, I got to make sure all my gaps are all even. It bothers the crap out of me when I see other people's work, and you got a 1/4 inch gap on your door, and you got like a 1/2 inch on top. I'm like, okay, I guess that's how some people work. Me, I like to have consistently. Consistent is, man, I gotta have that. So I'd rather get it made as needed. Like Tim, I get it in 3 days. Now I don't center in the tile. That's like kind of too much, Tim. But okay. Whatever.
I don't.
Not quite as far as Tim, huh?
I don't like to cross the tile with the hinge. Because they're
Like the
not
grout
all
lines,
there.
right?
And I did one the other day. It was a door, and it was out every which way. And I ordered it, came in perfect, and it was fine. But no, I can't see ordering 8 inches up, 8 inches down. And when you get to the job, the hinge is like a 1/4 inch up on one tile. Why can't it be in the center of a tile? It doesn't look right.
Now I do. Now when I do measure where the hinges will go to make sure I'm not on a grout line, or if I'm not on a bump wall where it's gonna make my hinge rock. I check for that, so I'll move it then. But or if I want to go into like glass, what do you call it, mosaic tile, whatever, with the glass, then I'll move it then, and I don't want my guys drill into that, and so. I mean, it all depends. I'll do that.
If I can't center it, then I'll make it just off. I'll make it just off the grout line. I won't cross the grout line with the hinges. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, because I get my my wall about 3/16 quarter inch gap, and then my door arm panel is about 16 to an eighth inch. So I mean that's why I don't order stock doors.
Yeah.
I prefer not. I know WBS, they have stock doors too. They sell them pretty thin. They're like $80 for a
They
stock
got
door,
a
and they do
warehouse full of that stuff.
they do. They do.
I
They
got a
have them too.
warehouse full of stock doors, panels, and everything else. You know, that you put in channel, but I don't do that.
Me neither.
You muted yourself, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, you know, it depends a lot on the type of work you're doing. I mean, if you're doing a bunch of, hotel rooms or like a bunch of like tract homes or, whatever.
Well, yeah, then you get stock doors.
That's a lot different. Yeah, exactly. And then I can see the allure for sure. I don't think you have to buy a whole container, in order to get a good deal. I mean, to get the best deal.
Oh yeah,
you do. To get them $50 a piece, I'm sure. But yeah, I can see.
And if you buy stock doors and you order a panel, and the polish, they don't match. They don't use the same wheels to polish.
And then how about the green hue too? I mean, the greenish hue is in a match. I mean, because I know some of them are different sometimes. I've seen that happen too. Where one's a little bluer than the other one's like a little greener. I'm like, okay.
That was kind of my question: is are you noticing differences if for those who have been in stocking or using them in stock? That Eric, you're using them. Do you notice a difference when you're using a stock door compared to what you fabricate or
not? We've never had one rejected for it. I mean, we only do it on like production built or hotel jobs. Any of our custom stuff, it's all in house. But I've never sat up and compared them. But we've never had one come back or have an issue with the color matching.
The first batch I got, like I only ordered 10 doors, but the first batch I got, I had a couple doors that the warp in them was like 3/16 of an inch. Now, they're saying they're better now, but the cost of the door, that even at a small quantity like 10 doors, is less than the cost of the fabrication I'm paying just to get the glass done.
Yeah.
And I can get a Starfire door at like $80. So it makes it's a head scratcher to think that you might as well try this.
It's gonna, yeah.
And again, Adrian, I understand your point where you're going off the wall, but if this is a glass to glass install, you're going to put a square door in anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And if it's 3/16 out, just do what Chris does. Just put a screw on the bottom, one on the top, and then push in the glass. I learned that from Chris.
Oh yeah, get the bow out of the door.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
Drill in the corner, one corner of the hinge, and then on the bottom do the other one, and then every guy push it in while you drill in the rest, and it works all the time.
It's crazy. Yep. That's crazy. Yeah, if you got a wall mount hinge, you can.
My helper says it's still sketchy, but we haven't had no return yet, so we're good.
It's sketchy. It is sketchy. No doubt about that.
Yeah, we did a big stock order on some stock doors when HMI was closing on the West Coast, and because we had used some in the past from them, we got them cheap. They're like $65, and I was kind of using for whatever reason. I was getting more use out of them, and then they had a smoking deal where it was like $25 a door, but you had to buy the pallet. And so I bought like probably 8 pallets of doors and just did a huge. And so I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do like a special. We'll blow them out, some DIY stuff maybe. I've maybe used a dozen out of that stack because it's like you never get it to they're never the right size. Even as much as I try and like push them, it's just it never really works out that way. And so, so I've got a ton of them sitting on the side of the shop, and now it's like I didn't have enough room, so they're outside and in the elements and stuff. And so now it's like we're kind of SOL. We used a couple of them this last month, and my guys, I mean, spent so much time just cleaning them up and making it work. It's like at this point, I'm just like ready to just take the loss, just toss them.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by GlassGadget.com. Showcase Innovations creates tools that help shower door installers be more efficient and save time. Check out GlassGadget.com for more information.
So what height do you order these stock doors?
It was between 72, 76, some 78s, and then some 80s.
Okay.
So I kind of just did 2-inch increments for the most part.
Mhm.
And then, but most of them they had were 26s, which I don't sell a lot of 26-inch wide doors. It's typically always like 28 to 30. So that was the only problem is like the 28s and 30s weren't the exact height that I needed. So that's kind of where it kind of screwed things up a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, if I were to have like Eric was saying is those hotel jobs and stuff, like more production type stuff, where it's like most of it's all the same stuff and people don't really care that much, then we would just run it. It would have been perfect, but because we don't have a lot of like even the track home stuff, we don't do any of that stuff.
Sure.
So it's just getting the use out of it is very little.
No, all the stuff we do is all custom. So
yeah.
Yeah, Cameron, when you were talking, it made me think about, when you got a door left over that didn't work and you're like, you save it because you're going to use it on another job. And it's like that door sits there like for years. And even if it's square, even if it's square and even if it's like kind of a standard size, somehow like that door just never gets used.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've got a whole wall and we've moved them 3 shops. Yeah. 3 shops we've moved them and they've come with us and it's like, no, we're going to use them. Shit, man. I'm just like, I talked to my dad about it a couple weeks ago and I was like, I think it's about time. Let's just call it and just get rid of them.
And then you're going to use it. You pull it out and clean it up. There's got to be a scratch in it,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Typical.
Yeah. So it's just like at that point, I'm just like, just ready to just take the loss and just, it is chalk it up as, a learning experience. Just move on.
In your shop, you dump them in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not in your routine to use them. Is a big part of it. It's like if you've got, and I'm thinking too, like there's a couple contractors that done work for that their stuff is always square. I mean, they made their tile guys. They had just great tile guys, or they just had standards to where, the openings are always square. So I mean, if you got that guy, that you can use those. On those jobs, right? Because, and then, like Ryan was saying too, it's like if it's glass to glass, you can always use a square door because you're gonna, you're gonna make the sides, out of square, whatever. If I had it all to do over again, I'd do like what the Dobmans do, and do nothing but pivots. That is brilliant, man. I mean, if you can figure out a way to do that, and they have, I mean, that's $1 million idea right there.
What is that? Who's doing?
The Dobmans, the my
shower door.
Yeah, my shower door.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Mr. Shower Door. No, my shower door.
Yeah, right.
Used to be Mr. Shower Door.
Yeah.
All they do is pivots. So I don't think they even offer a wall mount or glass to glass, and they've got their own pivots, which are like really sweet too. They're a trip. I've got to work with them before. They're like smaller. They're a little bit smaller than a regular like Prima hinge, and they hold more weight. They hold as much weight as a senior. and they're like smaller, but they'll work in the cutout for a regular Prima hinge. They're not exactly the same, but they'll work. You can make them work in that, and yeah, that's all they use. So you know, whether it's wall mounted or, you know, they have a little bracket they call a pork chop. You know, it's just shaped kind of like a pork chop, and then you can mount it. Their hardware is nice, and just a brilliant marketing idea.
Yeah, because they do. Yeah, it's it's a wall mount pivot, and then they have a regular ground mount one on the bottom. And yeah,
Exactly.
I've seen quite a few. I mean, yeah, it is pretty trick. I've always wanted to use them, and then I never remember until I see one of Keith's posts or something. I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have did that.
Yeah.
And you can adjust his alignment as well. Like you can,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
need the self-centered, like the pin that you twist, that you can actually just adjust it from the inside to adjust the alignment of the
They're
door.
adjustable, man. You can
Yeah.
can adjust it. Yeah. And they've got their own header system that's pretty sweet. Way easier than like CRLs. You don't have to drill a hole. That's got like a little plate that you just position in there and it mounts to it. It's like,
Well, Sierra Lawrence has a deluxe header that you can
what's that?
put Sierra Lawrence has a header where you put the pivot in there and just tighten it up. You don't have to drill the hole.
Yeah, they've got a like a slides in the header or whatever.
Yeah, it's that deluxe or whatever.
Yeah, they've got something like that. But
Yeah, theirs is new. Keith's, like Dobbins, has been around for a while.
Yeah. Well, the Dobbins have is like, it's the header. You don't need a special header. It's just the header they have all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just a little plate, you know, that you mount in, and then the pivot mounts to that little plate. It's just super simple to do. What's
Yeah,
wrong?
they have a nice pivot, but I don't know why they don't cut it in and flush to the top of the glass. I haven't figured that out yet. You know, they keep it up above the glass line. And I've asked them about that, and they said nobody's complained, so they keep doing it.
Yeah, well, it's marketing, you know. It's like, this is our product. These are the products we offer, you know.
Oh yeah,
It's just brilliant. I mean, from start to finish. They're just like, they're super professional.
I mean, they fabricate it themselves, so
Yes.
it should be flush going across. That's what I think.
That's your opinion.
Yeah, that's my opinion, but
Right on. That's true. They do. They
do their own fabrication. So
yeah.
So I finally got a shipping date. So there's that. I don't know if you guys remember a couple months back, I was talking about that switchlight glass.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're finally, after it seems like forever, they're delivering it tomorrow. So I'll be updating. So they deliver tomorrow. They gave me a real tight window of 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on when they're going to deliver it.
Wow.
But yeah, I was like, well, that's great. So yeah, we're going to plan on doing the install on Monday. But yeah, it's been an interesting process.
Where did you order them from?
Through Smart Glass Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I probably won't be doing them again. I think I'm gonna do Smart Glass Country. I was going to go with Smart Glass Country originally, but it came down to like the time frame. And this guy told me, oh yeah, at Ontario, he's like, oh yeah, 3 to 4 weeks production, and then plus whatever that it takes to ship it. So I'm like, okay. So out of all of them, he was the quickest. Well, no, we're right at almost 10 weeks now that we've been waiting. So yeah.
No, I just did one from 12 Studios down in LA. And got it in 4 weeks.
Was it a shower?
No, it's a window.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I reached out to them because this is a shower application.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't do it. The only other one that was in California was, I think, Halo. They said that they would do it, but it was the same lead time. It was like 8 to 10 weeks, or what was it, like
Oh,
45 to 60 days or something like that. But
yeah.
basically, they order it from overseas and then
They
get
ship
it
it.
in, and yeah, they're just the middleman.
But this is an insulated window they did for me.
Yeah, is yours insulated or is it laminate?
Laminate.
Laminate. We use
Yeah.
e-glass. They're pretty good. Although we just had a couple panels fail on us, we have to pull out. Of course, they're already framed in and muttoned in, but they're insulated, so it's a little bit different.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, it was kind of a chore going back and forth because this job, it kind of fell in my lap from another from the contractor and the customer, and they were going with another glass shop. Long story short, it just kind of fell in my lap, and they originally were going with smart glass technology. But I just, as far as like service and just getting information out of them, it was a nightmare. And so I was just like, right off the bat, I was like, okay, you guys aren't the one for me. So then I started calling around to like 4 or 5 other companies, getting bids, and out of the gate, this guy seemed really like on top of it. Like he knew, like I'd ask him technical questions and he knew what was going on. So I was like, okay, I feel a little bit more comfortable. But then it was like, as soon as I placed the order, then it just kind of slowly went down. It was just, the experience has not been the
In
greatest.
South.
Because that was the thing. It's like after I had placed the order, then I started asking even more technical questions, like, okay, like as far as hardware and cutouts, like what exactly do you need from me, or what do you guys normally do if you guys do this all the time? And then it was just kind of like, oh, well, you could do it like this, and you could do it like that. I'm like, no, here's the application. I need to know exactly what is going to work for your guys' stuff. Like, you tell me. Well, and then it was just like back to me kind of figuring it out. And so it was, and then like uh as far as like install and like, because we have to run channel, right? Because you have the wires and stuff that you have to kind of conceal. And so um after we figured everything out and all the deductions, then it was like, oh well, what kind of channel are you using? I was like, well, I already told you that we were, we're just using 1 inch on bottom and then 1.5 inches on top. That way we have enough to cover everything. Oh well, yeah, you make sure that it's 1 inch thick. That way you can tuck the wires in. I was like, well, now I have to go back to the supplier and make sure that I can find channel that will actually work for that, because not everybody has 1 inch by 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches, whatever. So I was able to track some down, but it's just like little stuff like that. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Well,
This is the first one we've done.
if you had
Might
the
be your
top
last
channel
one.
1.5 inches, the wires should have been on top. They were on the bottom.
Well, that's the thing. So because the panels were so tall, typically they'll run them from the side, and you can just kind of tuck them in that way. But because it was so tall, they were worried about the current, not making it to the bottom.
Oh,
So now they're running wires top and bottom, so you get the
okay.
basically even. And so it originally from floor to ceiling, it was like 100 and like almost 118 inches or something like that. And so I had them put in a soffit to at least bring it down to like 106. But yeah, it was still, it's been a process, but I'll be posting pictures and videos. This is a big one.
I put mine in and haven't put power to it yet, so I don't know if it works or not.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have the electrician there before us to finish putting he's got pigtails up there now, but he's got to put the little transformer and some other stuff in there. So we're gonna kind of work in conjunction with them.
That's the other thing I was going to ask. Does it run right off 120, or do you have to down convert it for that particular brand?
But yeah, they've got the converters, but yeah, I haven't gotten that far.
Really 24-volt, I think. Nothing run off of.
Yeah, it depends. The innovative glass, the e-glass, the one that we've used before, you used to be able to just run it off of 120, and then you just had like a little surge protector you put in line. But their newest product, apparently, you have to down convert it. It's somewhere in the 60-volt range, apparently, is what they have now.
Yeah, because Pulp sent me 2 boxes. I gave it to the electrician, so he can figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
With the wire.
Yeah, that's that's kind of where we were at. They sent us the little transformers and stuff, but I was like, it's beyond me. I'll just give that to the electrician and
Yeah.
let him do his thing.
Then you gotta. Then they love putting into the Lutron system and doing the whole house. That's always fun too. So you can control it that way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to have I think it is that neutron system too. But yeah, like I said, we'll find out when the electrician gets all his stuff set up, but it seems fairly plug and play. So at least that's what I've been told.
Can't wait to see it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked. It's been quite the process.
Quite the headache.
Yeah, over the years, I've had a few people ask me about it, but I mean, nobody ever pulled the trigger. It's expensive, man.
Mhm.
You know. So.
Oh yeah, no, it was crazy expensive. Yeah, it's a corner unit. Yeah, it was 60 by 107. And then on the other side, yeah, it was right about 58. So yeah, 60 by 60.
And that's very tall, even just for a regular shower. You know, I mean, it's very tall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, insane. Well, that's the thing too. It's like when people want specialty glass, like art glass. We have here in Santa Cruz, we've got one of the foremost artists in sandblasting, Annie Glass, is it? Yeah, Annie Glass. So it's an artist, you know, a sandblasting artist who's like,
He's in that house or no?
Yeah, or it's SoCal, I think.
Goofy insects, you kill yourself going into this place.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the place it's a death trap.
Yeah.
And people, you know, want that, but it's like, if you're going to install something that costs like $10,000, and you're going to like go pick it up and then take it to the job and install it and then like be responsible for it, you've got to charge at least that much in labor, because you can't afford to be like out of pocket, you know, if something happens to that thing.
Oh yeah. No,
Right?
that's what we were to with the switchlight glass, because
Yeah.
the customer kind of did everything backwards. Is they went and found the supplier, and then we're like, okay, now who's gonna do it for us? And so I just told him straight up, I'm like, hey, I have to cover myself just in case something catastrophic happens. It's glass. Typically, it's gonna happen, you know. So I was like, this is kind of where I'm at, and I was kind of stressing just giving him the number, because I was like, oh my God, this is outrageous for one shower. It came out to like 28 grand. And they were like, well, you know, because then they asked me, like, well, that's a little bit higher than what we thought because of the square foot. I was like, I get that. I was like, but this is for me to do it. You know, this is where it's at, because like I said, I have to save myself just in case. And so they understood, and then they're like, okay, let's do it. So, but yeah, that was the one thing that rubbed me the wrong way too with the original supplier that they found, is they just, you know, it's just that price. It's like 30, or no, it's like $45 a square foot is kind of what they were quoting them or something like that. It was crazy expensive. But yeah.
Yeah.
Has anybody done that Renaissance, those brass showers in this group? Have you guys used them?
Yeah, we do some brass showers, and they are not cheap. Most of the time, the people that get them are the ones. It's not Renaissance, is another company that we've done through, but yeah, most of the time it's a high-end designer that talks the customer into it, and it's a high-end client in the, you know, in the DC. Normally, it's near the embassy type locations down there in DC. And they've got the money to spend, but yeah, they they're not cheap, and we only send. There's only one installer that we trust to send to do it because you scratch those things up. It is. We got one that was shipped to us and actually had a big old scratch in it. They actually had to send a certified technician to come out and repair the scratch and then refinish the actual metal because it was such a pain in the butt.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, you have to cover yourself. If you scratch that metal, you break the glass is not a big deal because most of the glass that's in there is only a quarter inch or 5/16 that's framed in.
Yeah.
But the brass units themselves, you just have to cover yourself if anything breaks.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, I grew up in Las Vegas, and that's where I learned to do, that's where I learned to do glass, did my apprenticeship and stuff. And there, back in those days, back when I was a kid, there was like, the policy was, we are not responsible for broken glass. And I was like, I don't know if you could do that. I mean, I don't know if you could ever get away with that today, but it was like, no, glass breaks. Glass breaks, we don't pay for it. It doesn't matter how it breaks. It doesn't matter if we break it. It doesn't matter if you break it. Breaks on the truck, breaks in our hand. It's like, it's not covered. You pay it. The customer pays for it. Because and I think that was just because there was so much super, super high end, they put gold, literal gold in glass. Steve Wynn, when he built the Mirage, I remember that. This is going back a long time, 25 years or something. But it was that was his first big hotel on the Strip. It was he had the glass made with literal gold in it, and he supplied. The story goes so many pounds of 24 karat gold to the manufacturer to manufacture this glass with gold in it. So I mean, it's just crazy the stuff that and everything was brass and inlaid, you name it, man. And glazers did all that work, inlaid a marble with brass laid into it, and anything that was made of brass, anything that was made of aluminum, any kind of architectural metal, let alone glass, was that's what glazers did that work, So it was it's crazy, man. And money was no object back in those days. The things have changed a lot. Now it's it's a completely different.
Yeah, so now the Mirage is getting rid of all that gold.
Yeah, well now Steve Wynn was actually largely responsible for wrecking Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, if you look into the history of the whole thing and construction and the hotel industry and everything,
Yeah.
That guy it was his
When he built the Wynn,
mm-hmm.
all that came from China.
Yeah.
The whole skin.
Wow, that doesn't surprise
And
me.
there's a guy,
but
there's a
isn't
guy
Steve
that
Wynn-
used to come to the trade show. And he was from Henderson.
Okay, yeah, Henderson, yeah.
When I take the monorail to the trade show, you see all this glass in this yard down there by the Wynn. He goes, yeah, that's all the mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he said all that stuff came from China.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. That was an insane place to grow up as a kid, believe me. I would not recommend it.
And when they built the first MGM down there, the one that burned up,
Yep.
the curtain wall was 3 feet out of plumb by the third or fourth floor.
I believe it. You had a cousin who was a cocktail waitress there at the MGM at that time.
Yeah.
She wasn't there, she wasn't there at the time, but that she was an employee there. Back when that was a terrible, terrible tragedy, man.
Oh yeah. Well, going to the trade shows in Las Vegas, you learn a lot from these guys that
Yep.
are down there that work in the industry.
Yeah.
And the pyramid,
I worked on that, the Luxor. I was
I
on
guess
that
you
job
didn't
for
seal
like
too well because
years.
it looked like a sit.
Oh man, that job was like crazy. So like they the way that this was built is they have the elevators. They actually call them like inclinators.
Escalator, no, inclinators,
Inclinators they call them.
yeah,
Yeah. So there are
yeah,
4 columns. There's one in every corner
yeah.
that go up at an angle like that, and they're precast. And so the way that the building works is that they build these 4 elevator shafts up at an angle at the same time, and once they get up to like about the 4th floor, then they tie together,
Yeah.
and then everything kind of supports itself the way a pyramid does, right? But the problem was like in the CAD program they were running, the things kept falling down. It was saying that like, yeah, you can't do it. And so, dude, we were there when they were doing this, man. They're putting up these things, and they're cracking and they're sagging, and everywhere you go they have these plates that they fasten to the concrete that shows how much the crack has grown, basically. And
Yeah.
so like it was crazy working on this job because everybody was like, are we gonna survive this? You
Yeah.
know? And a couple of people actually did die on that job.
Yeah, but he got called in to look at the curtain wall why it was leaking so bad. And this story he tells is, yeah, I went in the room and says, well, you need another bathtub over here to catch all the water, you know. I guess it was pretty bad, you know.
It turned out really cool though, man. I mean,
Oh yeah,
if you
yeah,
ever
I stayed in it, you know.
if you ever go in there, it's like it's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's cool.
Especially if you go up to that because like the first like 4 or 6 floors, I can't remember what it is. It's all open,
Yeah, yeah.
so you can go up on the balcony and like stand on the inside of the building
Yeah.
and like look
Yeah.
over the. It's like wow, it's kind of disorienting,
amazing.
you know. But yeah, I was on that job for a couple of years. There were like every glass shop. I think there was 5 different glass shops working on that. Because there was one that was just doing the envelope, and then one doing all the storefronts, and then I was working for the company that was doing like all the handrail and mirrors, and you know, and then there was another one inside of the building. There's like this artificial like skyline, so
Yeah.
there's like all these like fake buildings that they put up in like in the middle of it that are like 10 stories tall or something. It's crazy. And then and there was a glass shop there just to glaze these fake buildings.
Yeah.
It's like,
Crazy.
yeah, this is opulent. Yeah, boy, reminds me of my childhood.
Yes. Right.
Well, anyway, that's all I've got. Any important thing we need to announce before we leave?
Hey, warm.
Yeah, really, man. Stay
Stay
warm, stay
warm.
dry. All right, guys. Thanks for showing up, man. We'll see you next Thursday.
All right.
We'll
Thanks.
see you guys. Good seeing you.
Good night, everybody. Thanks a lot, man.
Right.